time of the week. It's Wednesday, Brandon. It's time for pitch practice.
Practice the
The
show.
show. I'm being a little bit quiet today because I'm in this huge room with this echo, and Brandon has told me that it sounds like I'm in a chamber or something, right?
Definitely got to work on the acoustics for next week. Get some furniture in that room and some stuff on the walls, man. But we'll deal with it
Yeah.
tonight because perfect or not, we just got to get on with the show.
Yes, yes, and that's not the only imperfect thing because I've been a little bit busy, and of course, I'm a little bit behind in reading the chapter today. So it's going to be your lead, Brandon, tonight.
Yeah, so we had planned on reading. It will place you wherever you wish to be among men by Napoleon Hill for this week's deal. And just like you, things get in the way. I managed to get through half of the book. There's actually 6 lessons, or actually 12 lessons in here. I got through 5. Okay, so we're gonna go through the first 5, and if you want to figure out what the last 7 are, you just got to get the book because yeah, sorry guys, got to get the book. Link in the description on both our videos. So, but anyway,
Yes, and
we got some big news though, don't we? Something happened. We got some notifications come through that we weren't expecting. Or at least I did. Mark, I don't know. Did you?
I sure did. I sure did. I got the notification you're talking about this morning, but I don't know what it means. Uh,
Well, as you know, normally
mm,
pitch practice is supposed to be in the morning at 7:30 or 7 o'clock, and usually typically it was unrecorded. And we had a third, and we went live, and our third last quarter had some dealings going on, and decided to step away for a minute. But this morning, randomly out of the blue, I get a notification on my Google Calendar that pitch practice got moved to next Tuesday at 7:30 in the morning. So I don't know if Miss Laura is going to be there, but I will hop on because I haven't been coming on in the morning, just due to we're doing the show tonight,
mhm.
and figure out what's going on. Now that doesn't mean we're going to be recording at 7:30 in the morning live. Okay, we're going to figure out what's going on with it, and we'll still have our Wednesday night show and possibly
Yeah,
just
yeah,
adjusting what we did on Tuesday. So
yeah,
that was the
yeah.
interesting news.
Yeah, awesome. And if nothing else, hopefully we'll just at least connect and find out how everything is going. We got to throw a shout out there. If you're watching, give us a hashtag where you're watching from. I want to see it down in the comments so we can come back when we're reviewing this video to see your comments. Always like to highlight everybody that's following us, watching us, and our avid listeners and watchers. And last week, Brandon, I had someone approach us almost immediately after the episode, wanting to come on with us too. Remember I told you about that?
Yeah, definitely love to have any guest that would like to come on a pitch practice show to, you know, so we can learn about them, what they do, and they can share their story and journey through whatever they're doing. So yeah, happy to have any guests come on.
Yeah, yeah. And I always want to let you know how this entire program started and how it started with you and Laura. It's been a couple years. It's been pretty consistent, and it's just a way for us to meet together and actually, as you know, remember as Laura always said, right? We want to practice on each other. We don't want to practice on our customers. We don't want to practice when things are on the line, but we want to put in the practice beforehand. That's
Hmm.
how, that's how world class people become world class. You don't
Hmm.
get to become a world class athlete, a performer, a musician, or a marketer without practice. Without practice. And that's what you're welcome. We'd love to have you on to come and practice with us. Who's Who's one person that you love to see practice, Brandon?
In what aspect?
Oh well, you know that when we're out here in this online world and we're being exposed to a lot of different marketers, and okay, so for example, I have to give a couple of shout outs to some people that I've seen recently. I love watching. Now I'm becoming a super big Alex Hormozy fan. Uh, you know, especially over the last couple of weeks where we've seen him just going back to his big launch where he for his 100 million leads book where he
Hmm.
gave all stacked all this value and then at the end just gave it free. I'm finding a lot more of content out there from him, from his podcast, from videos that he puts out there on the YouTube. So I would say that he's a person that I love to see practice. And there's another person I have to give a shout out there to, a podcaster that I like to listen to. And I watch him and I see how he asks these really carefully crafted questions. And I see you doing it too, Brandon. You had a major, some podcast guests recently. I haven't listened to it yet. But I can't wait to see exactly what you extracted out of them and what kind of questions you asked.
Yeah, definitely need to take a good listen to that one. Started that one off as season 3, episode 1 for this year, and you might have noticed another one get posted, but it was just a rehashing of the title, just to kind of um, align with it. I didn't expect it to go out again as a republish email, but whatever.
Mhm.
Happy little accidents. But yeah, I had the chance to interview Mike Schmidt and AJ Rivera from Agency Coach, and they're prevalent in the ClickFunnels world. Spoke on stage twice at Funnel Hacking Live, and the first time I heard them was the second time they were speaking, and we're going over the actually the shadow funnel as opposed to Funnel Hub, which they talked about at the prior Funnel Hacking Live that they spoke at. So it was really neat to be able to sit down with them, pick their brain. They have an excellent program and lots of resources to help up and coming agency owners, solopreneurs looking to scale and go beyond. And the biggest takeaway from it was that you can't go it alone. You need to have that operator in the business to take care of the one part of the business that you either hate or know that you're not good enough to do, and get that person in there as quickly as possible to scale and grow. So I think that's going to be my mission for this year, to save up some money so I can invest into that and possibly hire some sales help.
Nice, nice. It's perfectly aligned with the book we just finished. The 10x is easier than 2x because it was really
Hmm.
all about being able to find the who's and being able to do that, the 80/20 rule, 80/20
Hmm.
rule. Yeah.
Yeah, and as I was interviewing them, I mean, that's one of the things that I brought up, is the fact that they took a chapter directly out of, uh, out of the book, when they brought in a CEO to run and operate the company, and people stopped coming to them, so they stepped back and was like, okay, now what are we going to do? We still own the company, we still have a vested stake into, we're still making money from it, but what can we do to then um, make more money? And what I'm seeing the trend is, I follow several marketers when it comes down to it, is that most start off in the affiliate marketing space. So they're selling somebody else's product and they get good at it there. Then they move into their own space and they help other people sell their product, right? So it's still kind of affiliate marketing, but not really. Use the same concepts. And then they graduate from that level to the info product / coaching mentoring stage. And they're not the only ones that have done it. There's another one that is just launching their program, and it might be 3 or 4 months in. And yeah, so it's just neat to watch that whole transition there.
Yes, yes. I think, yeah, we're all along that journey. I think that we talk about funnel hacking and we funnel hack, right? We got the shirts, we got the we got the books, we got all the Facebook banners that show everything, but we're making all the posts on our social media. Um, building these relationships, but I think that people forget one quick way to actually get to the top of someone's radar. And how do we really get there? And this is something that actually Russell teaches explicitly about doing when you are funnel hacking. If you're a funnel hacker out there, in fact, I've used it myself with tons of success. And when we think about funnel hacking, you just check out my pages, Mental Marketer. You can find the Mental Marketer on any platform. On X, I find that I've still been calling Twitter when it's not Twitter anymore. It's X. So I'm changing my words. It's now X. Just look Mental Marketer. You can find me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, my Facebook business page, on X, and on Instagram. And you'll see in any platform, you get into one of my funnels and you'll see how I'm funnel hacking and examples of what you can do. But one of the ways that goes very unnoticed to get on the top of someone's radar is opting in to a funnel, getting whatever free lead magnet that they're offering, that might be offered, and then actually pulling out your credit card and making that purchase. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And get the information or get the transformation. I'm always pulling out my credit card and I'm always paying because that's what you have to do. I believe you need to actually go there, put in your information, get your credit card, and then get the secrets of success box. That's how you're gonna get it. You're not gonna get it just by listening. But
Right.
you know what also happens that I found is that even when people get big, they know they know a lot of times when you're the one that's actually putting out that credit card, and they'll give you a lot more opportunities, and they'll talk to people that actually there's a pay to play in some
Mm-hmm.
cases, and especially when it comes to higher tickets and getting in those rooms. So that's what I wanted to say today before we start our journey on how to put ourselves in places where you wish to be among men. Um, that's what we're talking about today. What do you just this initial title? What does this hark to you? What does this say to you, Brandon? What does that say to
To me, it just makes your life sky's the limit, right? So, and it also makes you in control of your own destiny for whatever you want to do. If you know and understand how to interact with people and get on their good side, and then I wouldn't say manipulate them, but sway them to do the things that you want them to do, then you can pretty much have anything you want. And the best salespeople are able to do that. The best salespeople are the ones that you absolutely hate to love.
you?
If that makes any
You
if that makes any sense to you.
You're talking about Grant
Yeah.
Cardone.
Yeah. I mean, it's like you hate the guy, but you'd still buy something from him just because. You know what I mean? So it's like people sometimes just have that it factor with them naturally, but other people it takes that deal that has to be developed. And knowing and understanding the psychology behind dealing with people in sales and speaking and how their mind may work can definitely put you where you need to be and want to be. So Yeah, I managed to get through when we said last week we were going to read this book. I got about halfway through it. Got a lot of stuff going on in the daytime, and I know that doesn't make an excuse to be able to read at least one chapter a night. But I'm also working on another launch for my client and doing her Amazon KDP stuff. So there's only so many hours in the day, and I still have to sleep, right? So we talked about that last week or the week before.
Yes,
so
yeah.
sleep is important.
Yeah.
So we got through the first 5 lessons, or at least I did, and a little bit of background of this book. It's part of the most incredible free gift ever that you get with the Secrets of Success. That launched back in November, just after Funnel Hacking Live, and what this program is a giant self-development program based on the teaching of Napoleon Hill and a bunch of other people of the same time that are in the self-help development space. And a lot of these works are in the public domain now. And if you know anything about the public domain and you've heard the news, Steamboat Willie's in the public domain, which means you can take that work, republish it with your spin on it, and make money with it. Or if it's not, you can still reach out to people that have the copyright on it and ask for licensing rights and do that. But a lot of Napoleon Hill stuff is going to be coming into the public domain here soon. But Russell loves them so much that he ends up reaching out to the foundation and, licensing a good majority of it out that isn't. So that being said,
what I would say about it too is that it's not just works that are in the public domain. Being in that Secrets of Success mentorship and membership area, you're not just getting published works. You're actually getting previously unpublished works from some of the pioneers in the personal development space. And it's, everybody gets it from somewhere. And this is really core lessons that are being taught. And I love it how it's applied psychology. Just for me, when I talk about, okay, it will place you wherever you wish to be among men, that says to me that the people that are successful have a way to get there, and there is a proven path that can be taught and it can be learned to place you where you wish to be among men. And I just opening up this book, it reads, just thinking about the time period that it was written. Let's talk. When was this manuscript written?
1919. So over 100 years ago. 103, 104 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. So January 1st. And what I like about this book from the get-go is the lesson in copywriting that it has in it. So if you are into marketing at all, and especially online, you have to know how to write. That's the first part of psychology right there. And the preface has the giant notice on there, and it tells you that there is going to be a painful moment coming up. If you don't take action now, they're going to increase the price. But to help those that maybe subscribed late, maybe halfway through the year, they're going to give you back copies. And depending on when you subscribe, it could be either 25 cents or 50 cents. Now think about that. $2.25 or $2 in 1919. Did you end up doing the math on that? On how much it would actually cost today?
No, I didn't. Did you?
You didn't do the math? No. Let me pull up a search here real quick and see what it is.
What do you think? Is this a big sale?
I think it should be like $50.
Yeah. Is this whole book a sales letter for his course?
Yes.
Every
Every written piece of Napoleon Hill's work, teaches, but it ultimately funnels you into his live seminars and trainings. because his whole premise was, just getting people to push this philosophy out. You know what I mean? So his self-development seminars then sold another product to become a certified Napoleon Hill Think and Grow Rich person to then resell the courses. So everything that happened back in the early 1900s and is happening today isn't the first time that this happened. And his stuff really started to take off again in the 60s and 70s when that enlightenment movement happened and sales training, all that stuff took off again. So again, we're cycling back around, another 80 years is coming back, just new faces doing it, from Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, and you got Brunson, and Cardone's kind of in there, but he's not the self-help guru, so to speak. But
Joe Vitale,
Joe Vitale, yep. So I just Googled it here. $2 in 1919 is equal to $35.97 today. So if you think about that, how much these types of books are being sold at pretty much the same quote unquote price as they are. And these are the low ticket deals that get you into the funnel. And because, they didn't have the digital side, right? It was all physical. So think about how many $27 low ticket offers have you bought just to enter into a funnel?
How many? Oh man, I lost count.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I bought a couple myself. In fact, just recently I got one when it came to AI and copywriting for prompts for ChatGPT. Not only did that, but I bought the $97 upsell because it then enhanced the $27 offer. And that's exactly what this book is set to do for Hill at the time, is to teach these 12 principles and then move people through the value ladder to then maybe attend a seminar or join the mastermind program, which I think sold for maybe $1,000 at the time. I don't know. I didn't dive that deep into it, but that's generally the premise and the blueprint to info and self-development marketing. So it's super nice. Other thing I like about it is this forward here, and it actually had the original sales letter to the magazine subscription for the Golden Rule, and that was a good read. And then it gets right into it with the introduction and lesson. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Talk about classic. Rip this out, fill out this information, and return it in. And it wasn't even a postage paid envelope backhand. I bet when postage paid envelopes came out, they probably thought, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah. So after the sales letter and you learn from that, then you get into lesson 1, which is the introduction, and it's getting into the right mindset to continue on with the other 12 articles of understanding your senses.
Let's put up that right there, the lesson 1.
Yeah, just getting in touch with your 5 senses. Don't understand your sight, smell, taste, hearing, feeling, and I think that's it. I got all 5 there. And it's interesting that the way he described it in the book, and I was listening to another course from the Secrets of Success called Brainiology. How what's her name? Terrible at this.
Is it Ultimate Sales Machine's daughter?
No, Brainiology from Secrets of Success.
Oh, Elise Benedict.
Yes, Elise Benedict.
Yeah.
The way she was kind of going through it and how the mind worked in different departments and comparing it to a department store and things like that was really neat. And it kind of fell in the same line of how Napoleon was describing it here in lesson 1, as well as why, the purpose of the course, putting it together. Now, this is not, I'll be honest, this is not an easy read. It's written in a time where people actually were more educated, if I were to be honest. Uh,
When you say more educated, I'm thinking the attention spans were longer. There weren't as many interruptions, and people just like to read short copy because when you think about what they were asking them to do,
mhm.
here, fill that out. Oh my gosh, you can't get people to actually type in their email address and just click a button these days, right?
I know it was less than 50 words on a landing page. So it's a lot of words. Okay, so if
Yeah,
you're not a reader, figure out how to get an audio version. But we're talking double column on a it's a huge manuscript, right? It's a
yeah,
magazine.
yeah,
But it's a lot of good information if you take your time and go through it. But that's part of the reason why I didn't get through it in the whole week, because it's a lot of information.
yeah. And
So
for no, for lesson one, I would just say if you want a big takeaway and you're just thinking about getting the book or you don't have the book, uh, go to at least it's real short. This one's only what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pages. They are. You can see there. What is it? 2 rows, pretty thin space, but there's an area down here that talks about thought, and it talks about thought and taking a plain sheet of paper, ordinary letter size, and writing on it in large letters. And and in this case, he said that you write down, I am going to become a great advertising manager. So, but that could apply to whatever you are wishing to pursue. I know a lot of you out there might be listening. You might be pursuing to be a great videographer. What's up to all my videographers out there? Or what, a great email copywriter, or a great uh, interviewer, or a great designer, a great funnel designer. And I think this, when it's talking about the senses and step one and the purpose, is get in touch with those five senses and put it down on paper. That's the golden rule in lesson one, applying these psychological concepts to, because I think in the end, what we want to know is how these principles can apply to us in our everyday lives. And I want to throw a shout out there. There I go, throwing a shout out there. I had a friend recently who was actually commenting on our videos last week, probably watching. Um, they're going back to college, and I think that is so amazing. It's so amazing, going back and pursuing that bachelor's degree that they had never completed before. You ever how sometimes you just have these incomplete things in your life maybe, and you wonder, what if I don't complete it, or what if I never become that? Do you ever have that, Brandon? Or
I
just go?
did. I
You did?
did, and then I realized that it didn't matter, and I should never beat myself up over that kind of stuff. And so, if there's never a possibility for me to do it, then I move on and figure out something else. Um, if I know I can complete it and do it, then I do it and try not to leave tasks open like that. When it comes to school, that's awesome that she's going back and finishing the bachelor's, because that will definitely level her up or them up to achieve the goals that they ultimately want to achieve, because they'll have the new found skill set. I will be honest in saying I wish I could go to masters and get a master's, but I barely got through college, right? I
Can't read, can't write,
yeah,
can't
can't
think.
read, can't write, can't state, right? So, but I had a very difficult degree, and I loaded myself up because I wanted to get done quickly, right? And so that was the mistake that I made. I took way too hard of classes, and I thought I could just get through it like I did high school, but it wasn't that way. So, um, yeah, masters, they want transcripts and they want you to have a 3.0 GPA. I was nowhere near 3.0. Okay, I probably should have dropped out of college and maybe got into sales a lot sooner than what I did, but I did it. I made it through. I got my degree, and not many people can say they have a biochem degree, but I'm one of hundreds of thousands that have a degree and not even using it. And so, yeah, there's always that. So,
Yeah.
uh,
So how does that segue into lesson number two?
I don't know, but we're going to figure it out because lesson 2 is about suggestion and auto suggestion. So maybe if I would have told myself day in, day out that I was the best biochemist, or I'm going to be the best biochemist that ever lived, and discover some kind of cure for cancer or diseases, then something might have come out of it, instead of just trying to worry about graduating and finding a job, because that was um, where the mindset was at the time. So since I was only thinking just get through it to get a job, I, the minimum effort was put in to get through it and get the job instead of being the best. So um, lesson 2 is like Napoleon Hill's cornerstone for everything about his philosophy, is the internal stories that you tell yourself, uh, in being able to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Because words spoken to you are powerful, but words spoken to yourself are 10 times more powerful. So the more you can tell yourself, look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm this, the more you will be that.
Yes, subtle powers of suggestion. I like to share a story of my using these subtle powers of suggestion. And since we were talking about the subject of being in college and school, I learned this little trick, right? So, when I started college, I used to get real nervous about taking tests, right? And what I would do is I would get nervous and I would create this picture in my mind of seeing my test results. And the test results that I would see in my mind were not seeing not good grades, and this was before I'd even started to take the test, Brandon. And that's what was creating this anxiety in me, because I would be so nervous, and it was all because of this image that I had in my mind. It wasn't true, it was something I was creating. Then I learned to actually, instead of imagining a bad grade, before I took the test, I would study, of course, but I would imagine getting my test results back and getting that paper and seeing on that paper all the correct check marks and seeing this beautiful grade on that paper. I don't know if you believe in, he talks about fortune telling, seers, and witchcraft. I don't know if you believe it. I don't know if I believe it, but I know that had an impact on my grades during my time in college. And more likely than not, I saw those good grades when I got those test results back. You know, whether you believe it or not, you can believe it or not. You know what I mean, Brandon? It's
Mhm.
not up. It's not up to me, but I tend to think whether it works or not, whether this
Mhm.
works. And I found that in this type of suggestion and auto suggestion.
No, it does, and there's a huge following to that from a gentleman by the name of Maxwell Maltz, when it comes
Oh,
to the new cyber psychonetics.
cybernetics.
Yes, cybernetics, psychocybernetics. And I've been listening to that narrated by the one and only Mr. Dan Kennedy, for that course,
Whoa.
and he, was going through the same things, and one of the things that he talked about was, how thought is just as good as doing the action. To where they ran the test of basketball players, where they put them in a gym and they had one group um, actually shoot 100 foul shots a day. And then they had another group thinking about shooting 100 foul shots a day and making them, and then comparing them later on down the road. And the ones that did the physical practice obviously did well, and the ones that did the mental practice did just as well. So, there is something to that. And I can even think of a time when I was swimming in high school. Uh, it was a 100-meter breaststroke, and I was getting myself psyched up, thinking about the absolute perfect swim, the perfect cadence when it came to the stroke in the pool, and then getting my turns right, and it just kind of going through the race in my mind at the time.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
when I made the swim, I ended up breaking the school record. So, and it was the fastest I ever swam at the time. Um, Terrible thing was the record was broken again the week after that, and I couldn't touch it again. So, but
You
at
had your
least,
you
but at
had your
least, yeah, I had the record for one meet, which is perfectly fine, and I had probably one of the best swims ever. And had I known more about this stuff and actually thinking and mentally preparing for things instead of just saying, "Oh, I'm just going for a swim," then I probably would have done better. And thinking of it a second time, I wanted to be under a minute in the 100-meter freestyle. I told myself that. I was like, this swim will be under a minute, under a minute. I'm going to finally break a minute, and I broke the minute. And that's kind of one of those milestone things for guys in high school, is to be sub 1 minute in the 100-meter um, freestyle. So, was I the fastest? No. But did I improve? Yes. So, and I still have a record after 20 years. So, I must have done something right.
you're still on the board.
I'm still on the board, okay, with three other guys, but I'm still on the board. All right. So, moving into lesson three,
Lesson 3.
um, the law of retaliation. Now, I know the way this reads doesn't read nice, but basically, this is the law of karma.
It's
What you
what you put
what you put
out is
out
what you get
is what
back.
you get back. Yeah.
Mhm.
And in doing the right things, you can, quote unquote, manipulate people to get what you want based on the actions that you take. And this is part of the other golden rule that we know about, is do unto others as you would have done unto you. And that's what lesson three kind of goes into.
Yeah, yeah. That's just a well-known principle. I think when you give out, when you put good out, it's destined to return to you. Now, so thanks for clearing that up, because I wasn't sure. I thought that meant that we had to go and retaliate on people.
No, and at the very end of the lesson, that goes into a little bit of a leadership deal there. Um, you know, if you think of people in leadership positions, the reason they fail is they get too far ahead of themselves and think they are untouchable. You saw that happen with Trump going into the election with Biden. And if you read Think and Grow, not Think
Oh,
and
did you
Grow
see that?
Rich,
Did you
what's
see
that?
that? Put that thumbs up again. It brought a little thing on the screen.
Okay. Um,
It's cool.
all right. So I don't know if that works. It's probably my Mac that did that.
Well, I'm
But
on a Mac too, but I saw somebody do that. I'm just wondering if it works. Okay. Okay.
anyway,
All right. Sorry to
so
distract.
it was what was the book? Hill's Interview with the Devil. I don't remember
Oh,
what the
outwitting the devil.
Outwitting the Devil. So he goes into that and explains, the leadership and the fallacy of most leaders, and the reason they fall is because they get too far ahead of themselves and not continue to do the right things that got them there in the first place. And I think that's exactly what happened with Trump and Biden, and the reason Biden beat him, even though we'll talk about the controversial dead people votes and all that kind of stuff anyway later on. But, when it came down to it, why Trump was so hated was because, again, he was getting too arrogant for his britches. But anyway,
Cool, cool.
not to get too political.
Yeah, and you talk about that last little excerpt in leadership. It's interesting because he points out, and he did a lot of this. I know you've listened to Outwitting the Devil, where he talked about the drifters and he talked about the different types of people. And this one, he talks about women, men and women are divided into two classes when it comes to leadership. Either they are the leaders or they are the ones who are being led. And
Mm-hmm.
he makes the assumption that 98% of people are in that category of being led. And it's, whether you believe it or not, it's kind of, I think the statistics might bear it out. And
Yeah.
then it just says what takes a person from that being led to being a leader is nothing more than the intelligent human thought followed by action. I love it how he's always talking about action. That leads us to lesson 4. See
Lesson
that?
4, environment and habits. So everybody has heard, as you know, you were that person's a product of their environment, right? They're a statistic because they grew up in the projects, they're going to act a certain way, and they put that stigma on them, and that's difficult to get out of because that is being projected on you, so you must believe that it's true, and then you tell that yourself that internal story. Uh, Myself growing up in the projects, I absolutely hated it, and I knew I would never ever get back there, and I knew I was better than the environment that I lived in. A lot of people didn't like that. They thought I was arrogant and self-centered and conceited because of that, and it really wasn't that way. I just have always felt that way and had that chip on my shoulder about it. So, if you're falling into bad habits, look at the environment that is around you and change the environment so you can change the habit. And that is what lesson 4 is all about, is just that influence of and going into that nature versus nurture um, situation, as you've most likely heard in as a principle of psychology.
Well, and let me ask you about this one because this is something that I have always kind of uh been 50-50 about. I've been 50 or 50 about ever since. Okay, so you've seen the movie, what, Trading Places with Eddie Murphy? Have you seen that movie? Where
Uh, I've seen a type of movie like that because they've remade it about 50 dozen times, but not
yeah,
particularly with it, not particularly with Eddie Murphy.
yeah, but it's the nature versus nurture. And here's the thing about environment that I see. I see that you can have two people grow up in the complete same environment, have the same either advantages or disadvantages, upbringings, but still one can go on to be successful and the other will still, I'll just say, blame people for their situation and never reach their true potential, you know
Hmm.
and that's environment, the things that you're around. And some people are able to actually transcend the environments that they are in. You've heard of stories where people that have been locked up for years and put in that environment but still have risen above mentally to not let that hold them back. And maybe one day they might eventually be released from that situation and then go on to be, live their full potential, having lost a good portion of time. And that's what you can never get back. I think that in this, well, I haven't read the chapter. I can't say that I read it, but it's just
Hmm.
something that I've always thought. And maybe what he's saying is that it's not just the environment, but it's your habits as well. It's what habits that you continually do every day, and how important that is to your ultimate outcome.
Yeah, spot
That's
on.
all right. And then last lesson, I
And
need this.
I probably need to read this one again. Is how to remember, because lately, I don't know if it's age, what, too much stuff going on, but my memory is starting to get shot. So reading this through again, lesson 5 is how to remember. And in this lesson, if I can remember, it just goes over the tips and tricks on how to better remember the little things in life, especially people's names, which I am absolutely terrible at. But if you really want to make an impression on somebody, remember their name and say it when you meet them again after a period of time. Not only will it make them feel good, but it will put you in a higher position than them. Now, I know that kind of sounds terrible, but positioning is everything in every relationship. There's always somebody that's just 1 inch above another person, whether you think you're on the same plane or not. And, you have that follower and leader mentality there. And with knowledge comes power. And if you know somebody's name, you do have power over them because you can say their name. And, that's just going back to crazy other philosophy that I've read, and the power of names and things like that, to where, you know, some cultures don't even, some cultures have multiple names, and you don't give somebody a certain name. You give them a different name to call you by, just so they don't know your real name and have that power over you. It's weird. I don't remember where I read it or watched it on TV or whatever, but that's something I do remember because it stood out to me because it was so weird, right? And
Yeah.
and that's another thing about remembering. If you can tie it to something that's weird and outstanding to you, then you'll always remember it. So
Oh, awesome. I could always use some tips in remembering. And what did I want to say about this chapter? I think he just gives, I'm definitely going to go back and read these 5 lessons and absorb it, absolutely absorb it. And we've only gone through the first 5. There are 7 more lessons that you can go through. But if you want to go through those lessons, what do they have to do, Brandon?
you got to get the Mifke. You got to get the Secrets of Success Mifke. It's a great gift in signing up for the program, and I think it's free. You just pay the shipping for it, right? And you get a 30-day, I think 30-day trial to the Secrets of Success, where you can check out all the other courses there on personal development and self-development. Kind of my favorite thing though is the Think and Grow Rich copy that I got
Yeah.
from Russell. Now I have it digitally, and I think I have another physical copy somewhere else. But just having that forward by Russell was, and having his take on the philosophies in there is really nice. Plus, it's a pretty good book, right? Let me grab it.
Yeah. I just have to say, I have to thank. I have to
There it
thank.
is.
That's it. That's it. And let me check. Let's see. Let's see there. Look at your copy. Oh shoot! I got. Yeah. Yeah.
Yours is probably more used than mine. I don't like to read the physical books. I like to read the digital and keep the physical ones neat and clean and tidy. I don't know.
When I open this book, I almost don't want to like.
Don't want to crease it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mine's already creased. Whatever.
Yeah, mine is too, and you can see it started to kind of open up there from being open. But yeah,
And
definitely.
that's not the only book that you're going to get. You're going to get another one on master salesmanship too. So there's 3 books that come in that gift set. So Think and Grow Rich, Practical Lessons in Applied Psychology, and Master Salesmanship. Even if you don't like sales or have anything to do with sales, you should know sales, because again, salespeople that know sales are going to be able to make more money, and people that know the same techniques of salespeople are going to be able to keep more money in their pocket. So it's a little cat and mouse game there, right? So learn sales, get the books. Links are in our descriptions, and yeah.
And if you are in sales, just getting the Mifke box. Like I said, we talk about funnel hacking. We got the shirts, we got the books, but you got to pull out that credit card. And see the examples of what is actually working out there, and take these principles that you are funnel hacking. And you know what funnel hacking is? It's modeling the processes of those that are building great communities, building great offers, and you will get this letter here that is an excellent example of whatever you might want uh, to include, and you get ideas. Definitely, it's a win-win situation. No, I think it's like a win-win-win situation. You get to
Yeah.
you get the free gifts, you get to uh, benefit from the good material and the training. And then you're also learning from the process on the back end, so you can make more money. That's retaliation right there, Brandon.
That's it. Yeah, I forgot I even had the letter. It was folded up and put it in the book. I took the staple out of it to not damage the book. But yeah, that's my bookmark. So with that, we're coming up to the end here. We're over our 45 minutes, but that's okay. Anything else exciting happening the rest of the week?
Oh man, I don't know what happened this past week. I've been busy moving, but I've noticed something going on with uh my audience that it just makes me wonder what's going on. I don't know if this is something that's happening everywhere, but I've had a lot of people opting in to my lead magnets, and it just comes in like spurts. It's like boom, 10 people, boom, 12 people, boom. And I don't know. I don't know. It's interesting to see that happen. And sometimes, at least for people that are coming into my Facebook group, that's where I get a lot of leads. That's like my lead magnet that really grows my list on autopilot. And I asked the question, where did you hear about the group from? And I'll hear a lot of comments that'll say, I saw you on YouTube, I saw a video of yours, or I saw you post inside this group. And then you get people that says, I've admired your prowess for a while. but but then I've get people that say, I have a friend in your group. I have a friend in your group, and they told me about it. So those are always good things to hear. But sometimes I think you never know if someone else is out there promoting you, if someone else out there actually saw something you did and they might include your offer or something as an incentive or tell other people about you. I was listening to Alex Hormozy this past week on his podcast, and he was talking about that and how he breaks it down in his 100 Million Leads book. Maybe we should read that book. And he talks about it's free. He's given away his 100 million offers for free, his 100 million leads for free, and even the accompanying courses, you can access those for free without even opting in. Um, and I was just listening to some of his strategies and how he has utilized them. And not only does he utilize them and teach them, but he shows it um, as as you're listening to him. He's practicing what he preaches. So that's something that I've been. You asked me what's something new lately. It's just been I've been seeing my list grow, and it's been interesting to see that happen over the past week because I've been pretty just with the move and
Mhm.
things. It's been a lot, but that's what's been new for me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's good that you did all that work prior to you sowed your field, and now that things are starting to come in because you're putting the content out there and people are starting to get noticed and traction. And I'm seeing the same thing. I'm be open to saying it's tough to do it for myself. I'm not a self doer. I'm more of a giver type person, right? So it's easier for me to do it for other people, and I've done that for several people over the past couple of years. And the biggest success though that I've had, I mean, I can't attribute it all to myself, but I did help and play a good sized role, is I guess the word I'm looking for, in it when it came to writing copy and getting the funnel and things like that built up, was the hashtag 60 new challenge. I'm the operator behind that deal. And if you don't know what it is, it's a health and fitness and wellness challenge that will help you get the mind right, one, and two, instill good habits that will help you lose weight and keep it off, right? And it's kind of like, a light version of 75 hard. Anybody who's ever looked into that, I've attempted it. I made it a week and I was like, yeah, this is hard. So I got to do it all over again, right? But no, the funnel was completely broken. I went in there, tweaked it, cleaned it up, made it look legit, modeled it off another health and wellness fitness guru that's in the ClickFunnels deal, and it is working. There's a list size now that we're emailing out every week of around 5,700 people, and orders are coming in when it comes to the meal plans and the prep kits and the group coaching and the one-on-one coaching, and the renewals are starting to come in now since we've been at it, since the end of October. So it's just really neat to take these principles that we're learning, put them in an application, whether either for ourselves or somebody else, and see them work and see them succeed and grow and make money. And then we make money because we're helping other people make money. So yeah, it's neat.
It's always a win-win-win situation, right? Yeah. Being involved, you win. That your clients win because the people that you're helping are winning, and as a result, we're winning. Winning.
And I will say I got a huge challenge coming up as well. I'm helping this, I would call him a solopreneur, window installer, small mom and pop shop deal, get online properly. I don't know if this is the right client to bring on, but I wanted to test my chops. I did it once to see if I can replicate the success in fixing this guy's digital foundation so he can start getting more inbound leads as quickly as possible through Google without spending any money on ads. We're not spending any money on ads, just fixing what needs to be fixed foundationally to get that SEO up and start getting more phone calls in.
Cool. With that, it's time to come to an end. Thanks for tuning in. Gone a little bit long today, but thanks for tuning in. Give us your hashtag below where you're watching from. Smash that heart button. Smash that like button to shoot this out to more people. We appreciate you. And maybe, who knows? Maybe we'll have our third partner next week. We'll see.
There you go. All right, Mark. Take care, man. It was good chatting with you as always.
All right. Thanks. See y'all later next week.
Bye.
Bye.